to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. Like other almanacs, our aim is to tell you a little bit about our past, our present, and events in the near future. Here's Kiana Bowen to tell us about upcycling, Eastern Shore style.
Happy New Year! I love the fresh start that January brings, that feeling like you can finally retake control of your life. And for me, that means purging my home of unwanted items and getting organized. Now, we all know the saying, out with the old and in with the new. But sometimes it can be hard to get rid of the old. You know that dress that you haven't worn in years because it doesn't fit anymore, but you keep it just in case you lose a few pounds. Or that old bench that's on its last leg, literally, but you can't throw it away because your grandmother gave it to you. Whether it's wishful thinking, indecisiveness, or sentimental value, there's a lot of reasons why it can be hard to toss old and unused items. So what if I told you you didn't have to? Instead of doing the dreadful purge, you may be able to find a way to salvage and repurpose household items. It's called upcycling. It's the art of reusing unwanted items by converting them into something better. With a little imagination, you can upcycle your old stuff into something beautiful and functional. And today, I'm going to share a few tips on how to successfully turn your trash into treasure. To get started, you'll need to take a tour around your house and look for items that can be transformed into something new. Remember, not all trash can be turned into treasure. You don't want to waste time repurposing something that will fall apart the next day. Although some wear and tear is fine, you really want to look at the structure of the piece and make sure it has good bones. If you're questioning whether an item is worth keeping, it's important to look beyond the surface. Use your creative eye to see how and if it can be upcycled into something outside of its current function. For example, I've seen large dressers turned into bench seating and even old doors transformed into tabletops. So really think outside the box when imagining what something can be turned into. Once you narrow down what you would like to repurpose, it's time to find inspiration. Magazines, blogs, and of course Pinterest is a great place to search for inspiration. Local shops are also a great place to get inspired. Delmarva has some of the most amazing boutiques owned by extremely creative individuals. Often, the store owners are also makers and artisans, so they may have a few ideas and even be willing to help you with your project. You can also do a little window shopping and see if there is an item in the store that you can recreate at home. You may not have all the materials or items you need in your house to upcycle your piece, so you'll need to do a little shopping. But try to stay away from pricey retail or big chain stores as much as possible. Upcycling is all about creating something new by spending as little money as possible. Local thrift stores, garage sales, and donation centers like Habitat for Humanity Restore are ideal spots to find materials. Antique stores are also a great place to find quality furniture and vintage items to upcycle, and you can often negotiate a lower price. Lucky for us, Delmarva is home to dozens of amazing antique shops, with Berlin, Maryland being dubbed the antique capital of the Eastern Shore. One of my favorite upcycle projects is turning an old sewing machine table into a sink vanity. If you don't already have a sewing machine table, you can almost always find one at a local antique or thrift store. You may need a handyman to help you, but the process is simple. Just drill a hole through the table for the plumbing and attach a sink basin. The end result adds so much charm and character to a bathroom. Another popular upcycle trend is creating a shelving unit from an old ladder. All you need are a few wood planks to align across the steps of the ladder. Finish with a fresh coat of paint or leave distressed for a vintage flair. Oh, and you know that old dress that doesn't fit? How about turning it into a scarf? With minimal sewing skills, you can do just that. From bikes turned into tables to hats made into lighting fixtures, the possibilities of what you can create are truly endless. Aside from having a new, one-of-a-kind piece for your home or wardrobe, there are so many benefits of upcycling. Upcycling is good for the environment because it reduces trash in landfills, And research has shown that creating things helps make people happier, less anxious, and more fulfilled. So instead of going out with the old, try transforming it into something new and beautiful. For more style and decor tips, you can visit my blog at eastandlane.com.
Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters, eatdrinkbuyart.com, for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.